Some of the other things that we need to think about when we're talking about overbooking, things like, how voluntary is the walk, and who should we walk, and how are our employees going to react to this, and all of these, the impact on satisfaction. So let's talk about voluntary or involuntary. Have you ever been at an airport and they come on with an announcement saying you're waiting for your flight? We seem to be oversold for this flight. We're looking for volunteers to take a later flight, and they'll offer you some sort of a voucher or cash or something in return for volunteering. Customers are a lot happier when a walk, or in the airline industry case, bump is voluntary as opposed to when it's involuntary. So voluntary, if I have flexible travel plans and I can wait an hour and I can get some amount of cash, fine. But if I don't have inflexible, if I've got to be there, I'm going to be really annoyed if I get bumped or if I get walked. And so in your hotel, okay, how can you make this voluntary? Well, if you know you're going to be oversold, and so this might be a day before or a couple days before, you might consider calling people who are maybe paying for their own room, so people who are traveling on leisure, and just call them and say, listen, it looks like we're going to be oversold. Would it be okay if we put you up in another hotel? We would, of course, pick up the bill. And most people who are paying for themselves would probably say, sure. And if the person says no, you say thank you, and then you move on and try to go to somebody else, because you want to try to make this voluntary so you don't have someone standing at the front desk and you're having to say to them, we're really sorry, but we have to move you to another hotel. That causes all sorts of stress for not only the employee, but also for the guest. And then, speaking of employee discomfort, I mean, you need to, if you're going to have to walk somebody, first of all, you should have a manager handling it. It shouldn't be someone, just the front desk agent. And you need to provide training so people know exactly what to do. They're going to be confronted with somebody who's unhappy, who might be screaming at them. I could tell you all sorts of stories about this, and you want to make sure that there's a clear plan in place how they go about doing this. And then the other question is, who are you going to walk? I've got a classic story on this, no name, no hotel, no city, where a person was telling me that he had been a reservations manager, and he told his staff, well, listen, the next person who walks in, we're going to have to walk that person and come get me. And they went. Someone came in and they went and got him. And as he was walking out, he said he was looking down and he was reading and he could just see the person's shoes. And he looked up and it was Bill Gates. And he was telling him that he was going to have to walk Bill Gates, the CEO of Microsoft. And he said he thought his job was over. He said, luckily, Mr. Gates was very understanding and don't worry about it. Everything is fine. But who are you going to walk? Do you want to walk Bill Gates? I don't think so. And so you want to be thinking about it. It might be that you might want to be walking people who are first-time guests, but you probably don't want to be walking VIP. So think about this ahead of time, because again, we're trying to look at all of these things, the voluntary or involuntary, the employee discomfort, who to walk, because we want to be looking at the impact on long-term customer satisfaction.